Good afternoon. This is the fourth debate of the subject. This debate is about Bob Iger, CEO of Disney. I will call attendance. First team against Adriana Ayala, Adriana Orozco, Natalia Salinas, Ana Ramos, Ramiro Meave, Nicolás Fuentes, Matías Terrazas. Now team against Cristian Rojas, Esperanza Paza, Mauricio Blondel, Melody Salas, Gary Huanca, Rodrigo Zelaya, Johnny Lopez. We will start the debate. Please, teams, you have 5 minutes to present your first ideas. Please, team against.
Good afternoon to everyone. Today we gathered to address a crucial topic that has been on the minds of many of us, the leadership of Disney's CEO and its implication for the future of this iconic entertainment company. While Disney has long been synonymous with magic, creativity, and success, we must acknowledge that under the leadership of its current CEO, we have seen dark shadows and concerning developments that deserve our attention. One of the points that lead us to question leadership at Disney is the lack of sustained innovation. Over the years, we have witnessed a disproportionate emphasis on remakes and sequels rather than the creation of original and daring content that truly excites our audience and keeps alive the essence of what Disney represents. But it's not just about the strategy and finance. Disney's corporate culture has also come under scrutiny with alarming reports of discrimination and labor exploitation, raising serious questions about the integrity and ethical commitment of the company's leadership. And we cannot ignore the negative effects on creativity. The obsession with maximizing profit has led Disney to prioritize safe franchising over supporting creativity and experimentation. And we must face the harsh reality that Disney's reputation has suffered significant deterioration under current leadership. This not only affects the public perception of the company, but also have long-term consequences in terms of consumer loyalty and employee relations. We consider Iger's leadership as myopic leader because he focuses too much on short-term results and neglects long-term strategic planning. So, the arguments presented here raised serious doubts about the suitability of Disney's CEO leadership and its ability to guide this company towards a prosperous and sustainable future. Thank you.
Okay, if there's no more intervention from the team against, please, team in favor, you can proceed. Gary.
Okay, well, Bob Iger, under his leadership, Disney experienced unprecedented growth, solidifying its position as one of the most successful entertainment companies in the world. Like accomplishments, he launched Disney Plus, the most successful streaming platform in the market, boasting over 130 million subscribers, and Iger transformed Disney culture from a traditional company to a modern and diverse one, placing a strong emphasis on inclusion and representation. Like leadership style, Iger is known for his collaborative and visionary leadership style. He fostered a culture of innovation and risk-taking at Disney. Employees to be creative and think big. He's an inspirational leader who motivates his team to excel. and I want to share my time with my partner, Esperanza.
Okay. Bob Iger is a great leader for a few important reasons. He's really good at getting people excited and motivated. He knows how to make his team feel confident and enthusiastic about their work, which helps them do their best. Also, Bob Iger is known for his exceptional listening skills. He actually listens to what his employees have to say and respects their ideas. This makes everyone feel like they're part of the team and encourages them to come up with new and better ways of doing things.
Thank you both teams. We will start with the questions. The first question is, how has Disney leadership influenced the development and expansion of its various franchises, from classic animations like Mickey Mouse to more recent acquisitions such as Marvel and Star Wars? You have 1 minute to prepare your answer. Okay, time is up. Who wants to start? Okay, team in favor, you can proceed, Guy.
Okay. The power of leadership in franchise development and expansion. Bob Iger exceptional vision leads to identifying on acquisition of high potential franchises like Pixar, Marvel, and Star Wars, filling Disney's exponential growth. Disney franchise success hinges on captivating narratives and unforgettable characters that resonate with audience worldwide. And Bob Iger leadership has been instrumental in the development and expansion of Disney franchise. His strategic vision, focus on innovation, talent management, and ability to maximize franchise potential have solidified Disney position.
Okay, team against, please, Natalia.
Okay. As a team, we think that Disney, in the first place, when he expanded with Marvel and Star Wars, they actually started to give their focus to so many different sectors that they actually made their quality of movies and content way more deficient. And also their profits went lower and lower while Disney is expanding. They're also not focusing on what they're doing. They're starting to get loose in all of their sectors.
Okay, Johnny, you have the word.
We as a team think that the leadership of Bob Iger in the head of Disney as a company doesn't necessarily have to reflect the bad decisions that specific teams in lead of the new acquisitions of the company, such as Marvel or Star Wars, and the poor performing or that they had when Bob Iger took a break from being CEO of Disney, doesn't reflect on the quality of the leadership of Bob Iger. It just shows that he has a really good vision as the CEO and leadership of Disney. He managed to acquire and expand Disney and diversify a lot in the franchises they own, in the entertainment they provide. And there were obviously mistakes made by some of the people in charge of those franchises, some people that were under his leadership. But since his return to Disney, they have reported their first quarter of 2024 as the first positive net income year since 2020, when he took a break from being Disney CEO.
Ana Ramos, you can participate.
Currently, Disney's desperation to supply many films has caused films like Marvels, that were previously acclaimed for their production, to now be seriously criticized, not very acclaimed, and even leading them to have much less profits than they used to have before.
Rodrigo?
As a team, we also think that his focus on acquiring valuable intellectual properties and expanding the company's global presence has been critical for the Disney growth. For example, the acquisition of Pixar in 2006 has led the company to a better position in talking about the animation, and due to the time, it's been really a strength for the company.
Natalia, you have the word.
Okay, so as my colleague was saying about Disney's profit and quality, in order to produce more content to satisfy the demands of its growing audience, Disney has been accused of sacrificing the quality for quantity. And this has resulted in a number of films and television shows that have been criticized for being formulaic, unoriginal, and lacking in substance. Also, the revenue, its profit margins have declined, as we were saying, including the high cost of producing new content, the increasing competition from other streaming services, and the rising cost of doing this business.
Adriano Orozco?
The classic Disney animations have been criticized for giving a sexist context to girls in films like Snow White, and on the other hand, the recent releases, we have an extremist inclination. And as my classmate says, Disney don't have creativity to create new movies because they are just focusing on have profits. For example, we don't see the need to put a lesbian kiss in a children's movie. Children are not interested in romantic love or something like that. It's not necessary has this type of clips in movies. It's completely unnecessary to give a gay sense in children's movie. We can only understand that Disney wants to appear to be more inclusive to the LGBTQ community, but in reality, it only used them to appear more inclusive. The big problem is not the inclusion, is that Disney don't know how to manage this. So I would like to watch the source number 1, please.
Usar la carta mágica de que se trata de racismo, de que no queremos ver la película solo porque la princesa no es blanca, cuando no se trata de eso, ya que repito, todos estaríamos igual si nos dieran a Tiana, Pocahontas o Akira blancas, porque podemos hasta tomar a DreamWorks de ejemplo, ya que díganme si no, a todos nos molestaría si en un live action del Camino hacia el Dorado, Chell no fuera morena. Pero todo esto es precisamente porque solo se espera un casting fiel a lo previamente visto, ya que no se nos venden nuevas versiones, se nos venden remakes, live actions, remasterizaciones, por lo que todo es independiente al color de lo que sea, ya que solo se espera eso, fidelidad y poco más. Considero que...
Thank you. So we can see that the big problem is not the inclusion, it's just that Disney don't know how can manage this type of inclusion.
Johnny, you have the word.
So we as a team think that this is a great example of how good Bob Iger's leadership was in Disney, because to begin with, he was under his leadership, Disney was able to get to a golden era, as we can establish it. Like we start the beginning of the Marvel multiverse and such. They get to the max ever recorded profit, net profit they have ever pulled, and their actions were outstanding. And since he left and took a break from being the Disney CEO, he was supposed to retire in 2020. Since 2021, the year following, we can see the first not positive Disney income since Bob Iger assumed the leadership and assumed being CEO of the company. So we can really see how much Bob Iger leadership affects Disney. Literally, the year after he left the company, they had their first bad year.
Okay, I want to add to what my friend Adriana said, that it's a fact that the constant streams of sequels, remakes, and interconnected content with the established franchises can lead to a feeling of repetitiveness, and it seems like Disney prioritizes proven successes over taking risks on entirely new stories and characters, and this leads to a lack of originality and innovation, and that's something that could be resolved if the leadership in the company was good.
Matthias?
Another thing I want to complement is that a good leader knows when it's okay to retire. Good leaders can be extremely a great leader, but they know when is the good time to retire, when the things are starting to get very bad. So since 2021, that was the supposed year that Bob Iger will be, he was retired. Disney was all the way down since 2021. So maybe if Bob Iger being a good leader, he will retire, and now Disney will be or have better movies, and will be another a completely different story that is now from Disney.
What role does leadership play in preserving Disney's identity and core values over time while adapting to changing market demands and audience preferences? Teams, you have 1 minute to prepare your answer. Teams, time is up. Who wants to start? Team again, please. Adriana.
As we said before, the problem is not the inclusion, is that Disney don't know how to manage inclusion. We think that Disney thinks about small sectors preference, but just to appear that they have more social values. So Disney don't have a good role in preserving identity and core values, because they are just trying to appear that they have more values, social values.
Adriana.
Try answering the question also, and complementing with what leader is Bob Iger. We want to say that he also is a myopic leader, which is a type of leader that focuses on only short-term goals and results, and also don't have many strategic planning management. So he used to prioritize the growth of the company and not considering the long-term implications for an organizational culture, corporate stability, or corporate social responsibility, like Adriana said, with people that works there, or with the movies that Iger used to produce. So he may fall in this category too. Thank you.
Cristian Rojas.
Well, Bob Iger leadership has been instrumental in safeguarding Disney identity and values during a period of significant change. His focus on social responsibility, promotion, universal values, and creative positive content for children has solidified Disney's position as a leader company with a positive position impact. And Disney, the mission is to create the best entertainment, explanation positive, and reflect on what Disney dream and making people happy, to magic film and images.
Disney is taking advantage of the fact that the issue of sexuality and gender is becoming important, and they are abusing it just to generate more profits. So I would like to ask to the team in favor, don't you think that it's necessary to be inclusive with other types of people such as autistic, maybe?
Yes.
Okay, what I said is that sometimes a good leader doesn't do what the audience or the market demands. A good leader do what he thinks is good to do, not what the audience preference is telling.
Johnny, please.
Well, Disney as a whole company under Bob Iger's leadership managed to get to the peak net income they have ever witnessed as a company as a whole. We need to remember that Disney is not only producing movies, it's making a lot of types of entertainment and other type of enterprises like streaming services. They also have like thematic parks. And under the leadership of Bob Iger, they were able to get to a peak of net income. And if we are looking at the leadership of Bob Iger and what Disney managed to accomplish during that time, we can see that he was able to not only take these core values and amplify them into the diversified Disney that he was building up, but that also all his works and efforts translate to the company's performance, because the performance company got to a peak on almost at the finish of his first run as Disney CEO.
Thank you. In favor, Ramiro.
Okay, so we saw that Disney is not going through its best moments after 2023, in which several box office failure bets for Disney Plus. So have taken a toll on the studio. So under the leadership of Bob Iger, the mouse company is currently in the midst of a creative reconfiguration, prioritizing its most foolproof brands and secretly canceling projects. So one of the first issues that according to the businessmen, is the woke policies. Here the businessman is Peltz, who asserts about that Kevin Feige and his strategy leading the Marvel Cinematic Universe, whose lasted stage has been characterized by greater diversity and inclusion, as we talking about. So similarly, there are specific questions about the functionality of its most diverse films. One, the primary is that the Marvels, and the second one is Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. So about the Marvels, became the biggest failure in the MCU history, with 206 million worldwide. So here I asked to the team a favor. Why do we need an entire movie with black cast? So that's the way how Disney can preserve his identity.
Johnny.
Yeah, thank you. So we think that a company that Disney as a whole company with its different and diverse franchises, also in the sector of entertainment and movie making, They actually tried to make a shift once Bob Iger left the leadership of the company. As we can see, since 2020, when he left, there were a lot of changes, but now that he's back and he's trying to make changes, obviously it's not going to be immediately changes. We are not going to see the results in the short term, but there's a lot of proof that the investors and the public as a whole is supporting this new Bob Iger coming back to the leadership of Disney as Disney CEO, and it is reflected on the price of the actions and in the first quarter report of Disney net income, and it has been the first ever positive net income since 2020 when he left.
We think that Disney just don't have movies, have a lot of investments, important like Disneyland. First, I would like to watch the second sources, where we can see that a child disappeared and Disney blamed their mother like a crazy person. And until now, we don't have a deeper investigation about that. And people rumor that Disney is part of a child trafficking network.
De 4 años tenía ganas de ir al baño antes de ir a comer. Su madre la acompañó pero no entró con ella. Pasados unos minutos y al ver que la niña estaba tardando más de lo normal, decidió entrar para comprobar que todo estaba bien, pero se encontró con algo muy aterrador y desagradable. Había un hueco en el suelo de los baños, donde pudo observar cómo un hombre se llevaba a su hija pequeña. No pudo hacer nada al respecto ya que ese hueco se cerró antes de que pudiera entrar. La mujer rápidamente dio aviso a la policía del parque. Les dijo: un extraño hombre se llevó a mi hija por un pasadizo secreto en el baño. Por favor, ayúdenme. Ella le señaló el lugar donde vio que se cerró ese pasadizo, pidiendo que rompieran el suelo para ver a dónde lleva ese túnel y rescatar a su hija. Pero los policías no le creyeron nada de lo que decía. Dijeron que su relato era algo completamente imposible. Prácticamente la trataron de loca, que había perdido la cabeza al no encontrar a su hija, y que ni siquiera saben si esa niña existe. A la mujer la sometieron a tratamiento psiquiátrico, aunque tanto ella como su esposo siguen insistiendo en que realmente un hombre secuestró a la menor. La gerencia y los encargados del parque niegan rotundamente este hecho, solo diciendo que estas personas perdieron la razón. Lo raro es que los guardias de seguridad del parque indicaron que las cámaras de seguridad del sector por donde desapareció la niña estaban deshabilitadas. Y acá es donde nos damos cuenta de que algo turbio pasa, ya que por años las personas sospechaban que abajo de los baños del parque había gente observándolos. Y no solo el baño, hablamos de todo el parque en general. Aunque sí es cierto que existen túneles para transportar distintos tipos de cosas y por donde los empleados se mueven con más libertad para conservar la magia del lugar. De todas formas, acá estamos hablando de túneles secretos, que ni siquiera los empleados conocen. Algunas personas dicen que esto puede tratarse de una red de menores secreta en el parque. Miren este video donde un hombre lleva a su hija a uno de los baños.
Let me go in there. Huh? Let me make sure nobody in here. Hello? See? There go man. There goes the man. See what I'm saying? There's the man. You know this is the women's bathroom, right? Sorry. That's the women's bathroom.
So we can see that Disney has a lot of power in legal terms, and Disney don't have the supposed values that they say.
We'll continue with the next question. What are the ethical and social challenges facing Disney's leadership in managing its franchises, such as cultural representation, corporate responsibility, and influence on the younger audience? Teams, you have 1 minute to prepare your answer. Teams, time's up. Who wants to start? Natalia, please.
Continuing with the debate, at least 35 employees of Disney World in Florida have been arrested in the United States since 2006 in connection with cases of child abuse and possession of child pornography, according to an investigation by CNN based on police and court reports. Among the detained are security personnel, tour guides, and gift shop attendants. 32 have already been convicted, while the rest of the cases are still pending. Additionally, 5 employees of the Universal Studios and 2 workers from SeaWorld have also been arrested. According to the information, none of the victims were visitors to the recreational center. Moreover, in their pursuit of expansion, Disney neglected proper personnel hiring and oversight, resulting in a concerning trend of employee misconduct and lack of ethics.
Thank you, Natalia. Gary, please. Bob Iger
Leadership has acknowledged and proactively addressed the ethical and social challenges Disney faces in managing its franchise, and his focus on responsible cultural and representation, corporate responsibility, and a positive influence on young audience has positioned Disney as a leader in family entertainment and making a positive impact on the world.
Thank you, team in favor. Adriana Ayala, you have the word.
Responding the question, first of all, we have 3 main points. How ethical and social challenges are negative for Disney. For example, neglecting organizational culture. Disney rapid expansion through the acquisitions could have created many challenges in maintaining cohesive and shared organizational culture across the company. So a strong corporate culture is critical to employee motivation, talent, retention, and the long-term success of the company. Also, the impact on diversity and inclusion. Despite Disney efforts in terms of diversity and inclusion, some people might argue that Iger's strategies and decisions have not adequately addressed concerns about how he represents and equity the company. And finally, the lack attention to corporate social responsibility. Disney has had significant initiatives in terms of corporate social responsibility, but in many times they don't think about some problems like environmental sustainability problems or programs, and also philanthropic projects. Some people might argue that the focus on growth and expansion could have diverted attention for certain a corporate social responsibility. So this is a bad point of how Disney manage the ethical and social challenges in their environment.
Thank you, Adriana. Please, Adriana Orozco.
As we know, Disney has many controversy essence. For example, we don't see the need to put a lesbian kiss in a children's movie, and this is about the Buzz Lightyear movie. Children are not interested in romantic love. Children don't need to have a chip to feel the love. It is about the classic movies where the princess has to wait to the king. A king is the powerful man, and the princess is just too fragile. And it is completely unnecessary to have a gay sense in a children's movie. This type of performance can confuse the children because we have to understand that our parents are from the older decade. So children don't need to understand this type of situations because they don't have the enough age to understand this, and it can generate a lot of controversy in opinions of our parents.
Thank you, team, again. Johnny, you have the word.
Thank you. So, answering the question, we think as a team that the first challenges that Bob Iger is facing now that he's back at the leadership of Disney is regaining the trust that he himself previous years built up himself. Like a lot of these problems, these different directions and these changes that Disney made while he was off the charge of the leadership, the CEO, he wasn't the leader of the company, have a lot of repercussions in the overall performance of Disney this last couple of years. But now that he's back, we can already see that he is gaining the trust of the clients, the investors more specifically. And as a company, we can already see the results of just the first quarter of the year he has been back at the position. Again, Disney as a company already make profit in 3 years. And we need to take into account that this is just the first 3 months he's been back at the charge. Also, there's a lot of challenges, and it will take it will have to be a long run for him to recover all the trust from the parents, from all the investors, from all the general public. But he's already doing a pretty great job being the leader of the company again.
Thank you, Johnny. Natalia, you can participate.
Okay, claiming they are fixing past mistakes, but are they really doing enough? Take Dumbo, for instance. They made some positive changes by removing racist elements like the crows and the song of the Roostaboos. That's a step in the right direction. However, when it comes to casting, they didn't include many actors of color in the lead roles, and the main movie had a lot of people of color. Then there's Aladdin. They did better with casting actors of color, which is definitely a step, but there was a backlash because Princess Jasmine, who should be of Middle Eastern descent, was played by someone who isn't. Now let's turn to Mulan. They aimed for historical accuracy, which sounds promising, but then the lead actress publicly supported the Hong Kong police during protests, stirring up controversy. And to add to that, they filmed parts of the movie in Xinjiang province, where there are serious human rights issues, without addressing it at all. These examples highlight how Disney's attempts at diversity and inclusion can sometimes fall short, and it's not just about the movies themselves, it's about the entire filmmaking process. Moreover, the influence of these adaptations on younger audiences cannot be overlooked. While Disney attempts to rectify past mistakes and promote diversity are appreciated, inconsistencies in casting and controversial actions by cast members can send confusing messages to impressionable viewers. When children see beloved characters portrayed by actors who don't authentically represent their cultural background, it can perpetrate stereotypes and undermine the importance of accurate representation. So I ask you, how will they retake the trust with this evidence? Is he really doing a great job as a CEO?
Thank you, Natalia. Mauricio. Talking about the challenges, the social challenges that Disney faces, the Team Against is a perfect representation of what challenges is facing Disney. Because firstly, at some point, they argued that the classic movies of Disney were a little sexist and kind of them. But then when Disney changes the content and make it more inclusive and for women and other minorities, they criticize that. So they're criticizing both contents of Disney, even if they're trying to do it good or bad. Because in reality, what we are facing a change for inclusion in all society, because now we have rights for gay people and more other minorities. So we are taking into account them. So if we're trying to do that, or Disney or Bob Iger is trying to do that, and there is a kind of rejection for that. Isn't that a kind of racist or homophobic? So it's like, okay, there were no black people in the classical movies for Disney. Then Disney buys Marvel and makes a cast with a whole black people, and it's well justified because it's according to the history. And then they criticize that. So I think, in my opinion, that it's very racist, and that their arguments are contradictory with their own arguments.
Due to time issues, the debate has finished. Thank you both teams. Now please, we want to know your conclusions. You have 2 minutes to prepare them.
Guys, time's up. Team in favor, you have the word.
As a team, we think that thanks to Bob Iger's leadership at Disney and his ambitious project, the Disney company underwent some surprising changes that left a lasting impact on Disney fans around the world. And in addition to that, Bob Iger's leadership ability has stood out at critical moments for Disney.
Gary, please.
Upon Bob Iger returned to Disney, the company experienced a significant recovery. Under Iger's leadership, Disney managed to acquire major companies such as Pixar, Marvel, Lucasfilm, and 21st Century Fox. This expanding its presence in the entertainment industry and its content portfolio.
Johnny?
Thanks. Also, we would like to highlight that thanks to Bob Iger's strategy and leadership, Disney was able to grow in such a fast rate and also got to be one of the biggest entertainment companies. We need to remember that in a corporate level, he took really strategic decisions, and once he left the company, once he was out of the leadership role, the company started to plummet. So it just shows how great of a leader Bob Iger was.
Complementing the conclusion of my partner, we want to highlight how most of the arguments of the team against were about the creative decisions that Disney took, but those were made before or after Bob Iger left the company. So it has nothing to do with how he leadership the Disney company.
Christian?
Well, Disney production is the process of bringing Disney creators to life using the highest standard of quality and experiences. To do is have a team of talented and passionate professionals who take care of the technical and artistic details on each project. And Disney's innovation is the engine and the drivers. Disney is the always attempt to trend and travel and make changes and seek to constantly adapt and rest the use Disney.
Thank you, team in favor. Now, team against, you can participate. Adriano.
We would like to start that the big problem is not the inclusion, is that Disney don't know how they have to be inclusion platform. As we say, Disney has a big younger audience, so it's not enough to try. They have to research and discover the best way to be inclusion platform because they have this big responsibility. Besides, there are no Black people in the principal directory. Then I would like to say some important factor why Bob Iger is not a good leader. The first one is that excessive focus on acquisitions. Although strategic acquisitions have been a prominent feature in this tenure, some critics may argue that this focus has led on an overly growth through the purchase of other companies rather than investigating the internal innovation and talent development.
Ana Ramos.
So to complement and conclude, we can say that Disney has created a wrong idea about what life is. So they don't use real cases to do a movie that can create conscience in people. So I would like to say that Disney has a great audience. They can the capacity to innovate and create another truly product. So they, instead of focusing on create remakes of movies, that had success in the past. They can interact more with the great audience they have and ask them what they want.
Okay, we want to go to the first main point, and also want to finish mentioning the two types of leader that Iger is. The first one, he is a monopolizing leader. He seeks to accumulate power and control within the organization, often at the expense of collaboration and development of other leaders and teams. Also, we think he's an irresponsible leader because if Iger exercise excessive control on decisions making and limits the autonomy of the other leaders within Disney, and in addition, if he prioritizes financial growth at the expense of a corporation and or at the expense of corporate social responsibility and stakeholder well-being, he could be seen as an irresponsible leader too.
Okay, thank you both teams for your participation. A round of applause.